Are you looking for joy and happiness in your life? More of it. And we all, at one time or another, want more of that. In fact, our culture is big on happiness. And so I wanted to talk about happiness and the sustainability of it and whether there's something more powerful than happiness. So I hope you stay through and I'm so glad you're here and that we're here together today. So my name is Janese and I've been working as an intuitive empowerment coach for over 40 years. And I'm not a therapist, but I have been involved with emotions, my own personal healing journey, a graduate degree in social psychology, and also intuition, working with thousands of clients over the years. So I'm only coming from my perspective and what I've experienced. And so I'm glad you're here. And I would love for any feedback, any sharing, because I know a lot of people who listen to my videos have done a lot of inner work themselves and have a lot of tools and perspectives. So I just love for this to be an open communication. And so, what is happiness, and how does one get that? And and um, and so what I find in talking to so many people is it's an external desire. More money, true love, soulmate, better job, better house. And when we look at all these betters, and when you talk to somebody who has a better house, more money, true love, you'll find that um, their happiness is not sustainable, it doesn't stay consistent. And emotions, what I have learned, are like a radio station, those old fashioned radio stations where you turn the knob, and while you're turning the knob, a different radio station comes on. And if you have the volume down because you don't like one radio station, such as fear or anger, then you turn the volume down, then that affects all the other emotions, all the other radio stations. So let's say that every emotion is a radio station and you have a lot of grief going on inside, but you don't like it. It doesn't feel good. It's not bringing happiness. You're not feeling happy. So you turn the volume down. And there's lots of ways people turn the volume down. I mean, we have a culture that has a lot of distractions. And so you turn the volume down and then you say, wow, I'm just not feeling happy in my life. And what I have found by turning the volume up on one of the emotions that are uncomfortable and allowing that to come through, then the volume for joy and the volume for happiness has come through as well. So it's really about making peace with your own self and all of the radio stations or emotions, whatever way we want to. It's easier to see them as radio stations. When I first heard this, I thought that I didn't get it, because I had my radio station, my volume really low. I was running away from a lot of feelings. And then, so I was like, what is he talking about? Radio station, different. This was 40 years ago. And I started really allowing my feelings to come to the surface, really looking myself in the mirror, being honest. And what I found is that it got easier. And the volume of all of the emotions for a while went up. But then what happened, this is what I found for me, is that what happened is I learned to mindfully manage the other radio stations, like grief and fear, and still keep the volume up, but not have it take over and really be a part of that. So the volume was still up. I could still see, I still do. So I'm not talking past tense only because every day is a journey. But I could still see the emotion that's there while not letting it take over. And that really allows more joy and more peace. And that's sustainable for me. And I'm hoping it will be sustainable for you as well. Because really, when you are, if you've had trauma, or just a lot of grief, or anger, there's a lot of frustration, the world's a scary place sometimes, and all that's inside, and you're trying to contain it while maintaining a happiness, that's not sustainable. That's very difficult. And if you can do that, I don't know very many people who have. So what I find is really letting letting being safe in around someone, maybe to let that out, write it out, feel it out. I've thrown rocks at big boulders to let my feelings out. Um, and there's so many ways to learn how to be with emotions. So, and I want to tell you a bit about me. And so I had a lot of early childhood trauma and later teenage trauma, a lot of trauma. And I put myself in a rehab at 20 years old, to almost 21, because I was not able to function in life. So I was really avoiding feelings and trying to stay happy in the happy place, and through a lot of partying and a lot of drinking, and so I went into rehab, and I had such a wall up, and it was so I begged them. Actually, I went to a 30-day rehab and begged them to put me somewhere else because I needed more tools. So I knew I deserved a better life. I just didn't know how to get there. So I went into a 8-month long place farm for young adults, and I was so closed down with feelings that it took 3 months. Um, and and uh, and I was so into blame and so into victim. Oh, I'm this way, my life's this way because of this and this and this. And I would sit at this group table with 20 people, and they'd go, "Well, who took the drink? Who ruined your life at the moment?" Because I'm blaming everybody for ruining my life. And after 3 months of daily of me being in that denial blame period, victim, I finally started yelling at everybody, like, yeah, and they applauded because that was the first emotion, a real authentic emotion that I was able to express. So I understand how hard it is to connect to the emotions. But I also understand how liberating and freeing it has been for me and so many people I've seen over the years. And so that was the first step. Well, once the dam broke, it was like feelings were coming every which way, and so I really did get help to learn how to manage them and to be with them, and learned tools, get tools over the years, do a lot of healing, um, into a place to where I can really say honestly that diving in deep to the feelings of me really is what gave me more joy in my life, and more inner peace. Now, yes, I still have the feelings. I still go there. They're part of me, as they are part of you. And it's about learning the dance, and learning how to or drive the car of you in life. And so, some of the tools. There's a lot of tools out there, um, and some of the tools that have worked for me, and so you'll have to find out what works best for you, is really doing a lot of inner child, loving my little girl up, listening, imagining holding that part of me, and also I have a little bit of PTSD that comes up here and there, and it's like parenting that part of me, telling that part I'm safe in life. And so it's really learning how to almost like parent yourself outside of the emotions while recognizing you having the emotions at the same time. And so it's a dance. And then I've done a lot of different other things, but that's probably, and the gratitude. Gratitude, as simple as it sounds, has been one of the most powerful tools of healing for me, because I did come from a big victim, I mean, I don't want to go into the trauma story, but nobody usually goes into rehab at 20 years old unless I have one, you know. And I don't want to talk about it necessarily, but if you're interested, I can share in the comments if you're interested in knowing more details of my journey. I just don't feel like this is a place for me to talk about that. It's really about your healing and some tools that have helped me. So, gratitude, because I really felt such a victim, like life had done me wrong in so many ways at a young age, that by really learning how to see life through the lens of appreciation and gratitude, it's almost like opened my eyes to, like, oh my gosh, this world is magnificent. There's so much beauty, there's so much joy. And the more that I could feel and see that in my life, the more I attracted it into my world. And so it's really about changing your resonance. And I mean, we hear this a lot. It's like, oh, think positive, and you'll attract positive. The problem with that is if you're thinking positive and feeling afraid or angry, the discrepancy between the two will create confusing messages in the world, in your world. And so when you can really bridge those two elements of your nature together and have, they don't have to agree, the emotion doesn't have to agree with the mind, but they can at least be sharing the same rhythm. Then what happens is that when you don't have such a big discrepancy, it's like the river flows more gently in your life. You flow more gently. People are attracted to you more, and you get more clear on who you are and what feeds you, nourishes you. And so, gratitude, as easy as it sounds, sometimes isn't, especially when we're really having a rough moment. But if you can just take that and really look at um, just the moment, even look at the beauty of nature and or someone you really love, you know, the connection. Just find one thread that you can really connect to and appreciate. And what that will do for you is really help move you into a healthier, loving, more gentle place with yourself. And that's what's important, is being gentle with yourself. Life can be rough, you know, and people around us can be critical, or we can even be critical of our own self. And so the most important thing for you is to have yourself, your adult self, your higher self, your soul self, whatever you want to call that, nourish and gentle, be gentle with you. The personality, the little child inside, the wounds, but to love you up. So, with that, I'm so grateful that we're here together, and I hope this helps you because I know these tools have helped me. And I mean, I can't even, I mean, if you could see my life path, where it came from, where I am, you could see that they work. These tools work, and they've worked for me. Everybody, and if you find other tools that are more effective that work for you, I would love to hear about them. And I'm sure other people listening would love to hear about them because we're all on this journey of life together. So many blessings. Thank you for listening, and I just wish you a very nourishing day.